Welcome back to the Tidarium Hangar. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well today. Today I want to talk to you about DX9, how they are on fire, coming back with a vengeance after they basically said they were done making Transformers. So we're going to run through some of the things that they've done in the past and where they're going, the direction they're going, and of course, they're giving us a lot of stuff that we need, and that's how companies do well, is by identifying the need in the market and satisfying that need. And although we talked about Carbots last week, that's not what this whole video is about. It's actually about DX9, where they've come from, and where they're going. Coming up. So first off, I do want to start with sort of the beginning of DX9, or the early days. Now, I took these pictures from basically the inventory list at TF Source, and I've said it many times, but TF Source literally keeps everything on their site that they've sold, that they've had. And since they've been around for what feels like forever, what feels like 20 years, maybe it's another year or two till it hits 20 years, but they've got quite a history and record, even deeper than Show Z's, because Show Z hasn't been around quite that long. But I want to say that DX9 has made a lot of figures. They've done a lot, and it's going through this, I'm starting to realize that I've forgotten a lot of things they made. So looking at this, you see a mixture of Legends figures and Masterpiece figures. And I do remember seeing their Legends stuff in the early days when they first popped up and wondering, who wants a 4-inch figure of this? Like, where's the Masterpiece representation? And still to date, it's the only way to get a Legends blur is to get their blur. And I don't even think there was a KO oversized of that. I don't know where McFan Toys is coming from. But they did something like their Splinter, which is their version of Wreck-Gar, and then they turned that into Salmor with GoBots. They did the same thing with their Invisible or their Mirage. They turned that into Crash. We'll see that here in a little bit. And then this Chigger. There's a discussion on what that name means. It's from No Country for Old Men or something, I think. But anyhow, their Astro Train was okay. I personally didn't like it. And we're going to see a mixture of likes and dislikes in here. We get into this next page of stuff. I mean, just pages and pages of stuff here. But I remember the RC when it came out, and I remember wondering, like, why can't we get a Masterpiece? So this came out before we got any version of Masterpiece RC at all. There was no other Masterpiece when they made this, which was a surprise to me. I'm like, why are you taking on Legends before you take on Masterpiece? And I just wasn't into Legends at the time. It took a good 3 years before I finally broke down and started buying Legends. And with that, I'm glad that I was able to buy someone's collection that had a lot of the older stuff that had sold out that was hard to get at the time. But if you look down below, you can see that they made the Legends Megatron. We're going to see their Optimus Prime a little bit. They're hulky. And there's something strange, too. You're going to notice there's KO oversizes from McFan's Toys of almost all of these. So the actual original DX9 stuff is small, but most of the stuff I have is KO oversized stuff because obviously they were cheaper. And then there's their Crasher, and then their DX9 Carrier at the bottom right. That, a lot of people say it's a great Rodimus. It's a really good figure. And then their Megatron is, in my opinion, their Megatron is second only to the MP36, but it actually does a handful of things better. It cleans up in the torso area better, front and back, than what the MP36 does. The legs, the lower legs, just, they don't have the right shape to them, which kind of makes them look a little weird. That's the only thing I don't like about it, but I do have this one. So this is my only other third party other than the Apollyon for a Megatron. And then, of course, their Galvatron, their Tyrant. It's a great figure. Then getting into this, I do have their Omega Supreme, the Gabriel, and I think it's great. There's an argument between which one's better, Gabriel or whatever. I actually forgot what Fans Toys calls theirs. But between the two of them, I don't think there's much of a difference, and I don't think there's a better or a worse. People say they have hip problems with their Fans Toys. Like Fans Toys, like an old man or something, has got hip problems. I don't know. I haven't messed with it, but I do think they both look great. They're both great options, except this was half the price of Fans Toys when it came out for me to buy it. I got mine for half the price of what a Fans Toys one was selling for. Their 6-shot Hanzo, it's got a couple of color scheme differences in it. That is a really decent figure. It's good. If Fans Toys didn't come out with theirs and beat it for, well, I wouldn't say a reasonable price, but they still beat it. And I had them side by side in my hands, and I was like, oh, just let go of the Hanzo. So I got my Hanzo off of that. Then you get to see their Soundwave. I'm going to come back to that Soundwave. It is probably the best Soundwave out there until Magic Square came out with theirs. I still think design-wise, it still can hold its own against the New Age. And a lot of people kind of get mad at me for that one, but I don't care. They do have Dinobots and Seekers, and I still have their Swoop, and they're reissued. I think the McFans Toys has reissued the caliber size of those Dinobots also. I know it's Friday, we should talk about Masterpiece, but DX9's got their hands in both, right? Here you can see the Optimus Prime, their version of Prime, in four different colors here. They also have the Richtofen, which that's another great figure. It's the one I still have on my shelf. I haven't transformed the Fans Toys one back to bot mode. I'm still impressed with how Fans Toys made such a big airplane, so I like to whip it out in certain videos and just kind of show it off. And then see, there's their Megatron, a couple of other things that they've made that's pretty cool. Getting into their Attila, their Combiner, their Minosaur. I have that, and it's great. I think it's kind of simplistic, and simple is better. I think that's the way I look at it, and it's solid as heck. I don't have any problems with it. The X-Transformers one was a pain to transform the trailer. It was just terrible pain of transformation. But once you get it there, it's fine. But this one was less of a pain of transformation. Price-wise, I mean, it's priced right. It's $469. It shows Z, it's only $399. They're still on pre-order, though. And then you look at a couple of other things. Now, they did have their Gewalt, which is a triple changer. It is Blitzwing. And Blitzwing, it's a good figure, but I didn't like the aesthetic so much. And I held on to it until I got another one. And it's just one thing. I want G1-esque as I can get. And it's close. It's similar, but it is a bit stylized. And so it's not a bad figure, but I got rid of it. And so they got a lot of other things going on here, like G2. Working on their G2 versions of the Minosaur. So they've done a lot of great things. And this is sort of their past. Where were they? Now, where are they going? Staying in line with some of the Legends stuff they've done, now they've kind of, I guess, named this whole line Mini instead of Legends. They just call it the DX9 Mini line. And I want to tell you a couple of things. First of all, I did review their Michael Murphy yesterday, and I do want to point out I did not talk about how the bicep is on a ball joint and the hands are on ball joints, even though I moved them like that in the whole articulation segment. I didn't point out that they were ball joints. I did have to go back and edit that, but it's a pretty interesting figure. Is it perfect? No, it's not. Is it good? Yeah, I like it. I don't care for the alt mode, but I really do like the bot, and it completed my set. And the only problem really is that it looks a lot nicer, in my opinion, than the older ones from Unique Toys, which a lot of people are trying to say Unique Toys, DX9 are the same people, or they're work together, and then also that they're working with Magic Square. So I can't really confirm any of that, so we're just sticking with DX9 products in this video right now. They also have the DX9 Mini God Genre coming. God Genre, do I say it right? But here's something that's starting to, I don't want to say it bothers me, but it is a concern. Now you look at the DX9 Mini 01 Triple Changer Double Clouder, and that's sold out. Then they have the other one, and I'm like, oh, well, they just, for whatever, duplicated the listing or something. No, the other one is actually called Fine Paint Version. So are they going to be doing the same thing Magic Square does, where they tease you with a slightly painted one, then a more painted one, or a more painted? We'll find out, because it's still like the early days of their comeback. But this is the first figure I've handled that's a new mold. This Michael Murphy one is the first one since they've made their comeback. Now, here we go with what's going on right now. So they're doing a lot of reissues. Now you see they're reissuing the DX9 Tyrant. They're reissuing their Attila, the Stunticons, their Minosaur. And it looks like they're getting into just, I guess, some other stuff that's just kind of left over that's on sale here at Show Z store. But as you can see, they're getting into the Autobot Carbots. And as we talked last week about the Autobot Carbots, we were discussing that we need new versions of quite a few of these. I mean, there's still like a Wheeljack hasn't been done. So, I mean, are they going to announce that they're going to do a Wheeljack soon? They might. Are they going to announce that they're going to do Sunstreaker? I don't know. I doubt that, actually. Highly doubt they'll do a Sunstreaker. Just because Takara's it's pretty good, but could it be better? Yeah, it's possible. Now, we've got new pictures, and they've been photoshopped or People call them digibashed or something like that to get the color on them. First one is the Red Storm, and it's their Sideswipe. Now, this is the one that everyone seemed to, well, I won't say everyone. A lot of people in the comments last week, when we talked about the Autobot Carbot reboot, said that they wanted to see this figure. They wanted to see an updated version of Sideswipe. And I think this fixes pretty much everything with the Takara, and it is better, in my opinion, than what Bad Cube did. Now, I own one of the Bad Cubes. I don't own the Bad Cube Sideswipe. I own the Red Alert, and I like the Red Alert, but I look at this and I kind of like the way this looks better. I feel like this works better. The way they did the chest, the way it goes into the waist, the way the arms look, everything I like a whole lot better. Now, if you want to see side-by-sides, because I kind of did side-by-sides with these same, with a lot of these things in the last video, you can check that out, but I guess I should show it right now. Oh yeah, last week they hadn't announced this yet. These pictures weren't a thing last week when I made the Autobot Carbot video. Timing would have been nice. It would have been nice. They could have got them out a few days earlier, and I could have included them in the video. But there we are, side by side with Takara. It fixes the chest. I think it's more proportionate. It works. I like the head sculpt on this one better than Takara, and everything. It's cleaner. Legs. The legs look way cleaner. It's just all over. I mean, this is the difference between, what is it, like 12 years since that came out, since the Takara one came out. So obviously this one is going to be better, and it looks good. They've got the advantage of everything that's happened in the industry since then. Looks really good. I'm really impressed with it, and I do like it. Now, the Prowl has fixed some issues. All right, so the is it Detective? Anyway, they come out with this picture, and this one's Digibash 2. The color added to it, which it's awesome. It looks fantastic. If this is what it looks like, they're gonna win that war. But what I had pointed out with the previous picture, where you had the chest didn't come together right, and it just didn't work. They had broken parts in there. It just, the prototype wasn't ready. It really wasn't. They probably shouldn't have revealed it just yet when it wasn't quite ready, but I'm sure they're excited. They want to get the buzz out there. There is some sort of giant clasp thing that it connects the front end when it transforms into car mode, which doesn't look great, but aside from that, I mean, it's a nice looking figure, and it did win. And the thing I want to point out also about the split chest situation is that you've got that on Jazz for Fans Toys and for Mach A Toys, and they pull it off fine. And I think they pull it off fine here. If this truly does look like this when we're done, we're going to get a pretty good defective, hopefully it's not defective, figure. And I think it looks great. I'm really happy with it. I'm pleased with it. And I'm going to definitely pre-order it when time comes. And I think I have. Yes, you can pre-order this on Show Z right now. Yep, I did pre-order this one. It's up for pre-order right now. The problem is, we don't know timeline when it's going to be out, and we have absolutely no idea the price. But judging by the other stuff, they're usually pretty reasonably priced. DX9 is a very reasonably priced company, which is another reason I'm glad they're making a comeback. So anyway, I kind of hope you enjoyed this little history of DX9 and kind of sharing my experience with the company and the figures that I've had and what they're doing going forward. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what else they pull out of their hat. How many rabbits they got in their hat they're going to pull out. And I'm down to support them. It looks like they're making changes and improvements to their figures as they go too. And so that's pretty nice. I'm okay with the Michael Murphy Chrome Dome. I don't think it's the greatest figure in the world, but it's definitely, in my opinion, a step up from what Unique Toys did. And we're going in the right direction there. And bot mode, I love it. So let me know what you guys think about DX9 toys and what's going on there. And are you in on any of these future releases? Or are you excited to pick up some of the reissues? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Tydirium Hanger out.